What's up, squad? What's up? What's up? What's up? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, honey. Where are y'all? Where are y'all? I can't see. Where is my squad at? Put your aliens up as you come into the room. We getting ready to talk about a whole bunch of drama, honey. We about to get into it. Hey.
Get ready, because you about to be an ATLien.
I hope I'm still here because my computer just froze, Lord. Hold on. That's what I get for being on the wrong computer in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not at my desk. Hold on, y'all. Please, hold on. Okay, I'm in here. I think I'm in here. Can y'all see me? Wait a minute. Can y'all see me? Let me take this down. Can y'all see me? Am I buffering? Can y'all see me? Okay, I see rich bitch. No, you can't see me. You can't see me. Do I need to restart it? You can hear me, but you can't see me. I just turned. Okay. Wait a minute. I don't see the chat. Okay, now you can see me. Okay, good. What's up, y'all? What is up? I lost my look. Where's my co-host that was back here? He is gone. I guess he got the booted. He got it boot. You said you see me in the closet. I am in the closet, child. I am in the closet. I'm like Kenya in her closet, except I don't have no marked clothes with my tags on them right now. I'm just in the shoe room. Hey Charles, what's up? It's a delay. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn some of this stuff off. I'm on my old computer hold on. I might have to come out and come back in. Hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. Thank you for your patience. This is what I get for trying to impromptu go live in the middle of the day. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me close some of this shit up. Before it's quick. You said it's no delay. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep going. Well, clearly, y'all keep sending me all this stuff, and I'm just sitting here like, what is going on? Why on earth would I be jealous of a BMW? And no shade to BMWs. I like BMWs, but my vehicle is paid for. You know, y'all not already read me about, my AC went out a couple of years ago. I had to get my AC fixed, but my car is still kicking. Look, I don't have no car. No, I am so happy. But apparently, hold on, I want to play this little sound bite. I want to play this sound bite y'all put in here so y'all can laugh for a second. Hold on.
You can't take, bitch, that I flourish in my own money. Bitch, you can't take, bitch, I was out buying me a fucking BMW the other day. Bitch, ain't how you bitch, I don't give a fuck if I got 26.
Wait. I need to leave the room for a minute. Look, anybody who can come online and brag about their BMW, we are not judging cars. No, we're not judging cars. I'm just saying, just to be braggadocious though. Like, I'm not coming on here telling you that I got a raggedy ass, 2010, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, you have a car. Like, why you gotta tell? I can't take you because you just got a brand new BMW. But unfortunately, I can't afford that because I am, I'm destitute. I don't have no money. Hold on. Y'all can talk about, hold on. Let me put this link in here. You said put it in the chat. Hold on, let me put it in the chat. Only the person who asked me to, I'm only going to let them, like anybody can call in, but it's only one person who asked you for this. who's supposed to be in here. And I appreciate if y'all don't curse in the chat. We can curse on the screen, but don't curse in the chat. Well, apparently T.S. Madison is in his feelings. Okay, he has been on every platform running around trying to get y'all to hear him because, you know, apparently I have some hidden agenda to ruin his brand. And I'm like, well, since when? Since when? You know, I'm going to do this on Patreon. So if you're a member of the Patreon, please hold tight because we're going to get in depth on the Patreon. But I wanted to come here first to, like, you know, go through a little bit of it. Hey, Charles, I see you in the back. But wait, you know, I'm waiting on one other person first. You know, it's just interesting that this person would go on their platform and, you know, under the guise of, you know, they can't stand me, they hate me for whatever reason. You hate me because I brought up the tea. I brought up the tea. Like, if we gonna go back to 2018, this is 2 years and you still harboring all this animosity. Like, I don't have no animosity towards anyone. Like I told y'all before, T.S. Madison is what he is. He gonna always be what he is over here. But what I don't like is the misogyny. The fact that he could go on his platform, call me bitches, hoes, talk about my stank vagina, you know, talk about repeating a rumor about my pussy being stank that some gay man put out there. Like, I'm not like at the end of the day, it's like y'all keep acting like I'm supposed to be so offended, but I'm not offended because it just shows you who he is. Like, all the things that I've been saying all these years, it feels like a full circle moment, in my opinion, because it's like your true colors are finally showing. We have always said this about you, Mr. Man Hands, T.S. Madison, and now you are who you are. And then for him to go on his platform and all of a sudden say, you know, I don't like that bitch because she disrespect me and all this. Well, keep that same energy for the men that disrespect you. In fact, let me play this soundbite really quick, but I was saving this for my Patreon because we're gonna run down a whole list of things. But hold on, I think Josh is in here. Hold on, because Josh, you know, they started trying to drag Josh's sexuality and everything. But hold on, let me play this little clip of someone who was dragging T.S. Madison recently and wasn't necessarily dragging him. Actually said, hold on, where is it? Now I gotta look at my thing. Actually said what I always say, but I catch the heat because I'm a woman. Therein lies the misogyny. But listen to this.
Never cussed me out for me saying I will never call you ma'am. T.S. Madison never cussed me out because I told this man I will never call you ma'am. I don't give a fuck. Out of respect for myself, I'm not calling you something I know you're not. And we can still be friends.
So that's a YouTuber. That's a YouTuber online by the name of Tommy Sotomayor. He's a well-known YouTuber. He's a male, by the way. He's a male. But have we ever seen T.S. Madison, you know, go over there and drag him for saying that? For, you know, calling him a him? Have you ever heard that? But as soon as a woman, as soon as a female, as soon as someone that you aspire to be, because you aspire to be me, don't act, because I can pull the receipts of when you were on your platform begging me to write about you on Straight from the A. We're not going to even go there. We're not going to even go back that far because I feel like it's a moot point. But at the end of the day, it's like he's constantly beating on women. He's constantly threatening violence against women. And then has the nerve to sit on his platform and claim, you know, trans are getting killed every day. You know, there's violence against trans. There's violence against women. What are you saying? Women get trafficked every day. There's sex crimes against women every day. So we're not going to sit here and play the oppression Olympics. At the end of the day, disrespect is disrespect. I've never disrespected that man, period. I look, I salute him for everything he's doing. I talked about him when he was on the Queen's Court. The only thing I said that I will never do is call him a her because he does not respect womanhood, period. And I'm done. Josh, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, Josh?
Listen, I when everybody was blowing us up because I didn't know what was going on. I told you it's that testosterone coming out. When you're running low on them hormone pills, and the only thing they're producing right now, they're trying to get out the COVID vaccine. So dad is short on those hormone pills, so that testosterone is burping up out their chest.
I guess, but all I know is I don't appreciate, you know, him constantly trying to create this narrative that, you know, I'm against the LGBTQ community. No, I'm not. That, you know, that's besides the point. And then, you know, he goes on his platform and then tries to say, you know, derogatory things about you just from your association with me. And, you know, you can speak on that if you want to.
I think,
you know,
he must think something's wrong with being gay, because every time he says anything about me, he says, oh, he gay, he's a butch queen, he's giving fellatio, this, that, and the third. So if you stand up for gay rights and you are a person that say trans lives matter, if you think I'm a gay male, wouldn't you want to protect me? I mean, wouldn't you want to support me? Wouldn't you want me to feel comfortable? If you feel like I'm not out and you feel like I have something to hide, wouldn't you want that to be a warm environment and comfortable for me to come out, if that's what you think? So he's gay when it works for him. He's a woman when it works for him, but he always brags about he has a big penis and he ain't afraid to pull it out. So I just want people to understand the hypocrisy of it all.
I look clearly. Another thing that I don't like that he does, especially in the last video that he did, is he tries to weaponize female sexuality. Like, at the end of the day, like, if someone's telling you, and, you know, look, I don't have anything to do with that Nick and Night chick. If she wants to be called fish, if she feels like, you know, an apology to her is okay for him disrespecting all women, as long as he doesn't disrespect her, that's fine. But, you know, when I watched the video, it just feels like to me that, you know, he wants to weaponize femininity. He wants to say, you know, we talked about the big ass pad the other day. We talked about him all of a sudden talking about my vagina. He wants to sit there and talk about my body, talk about, you know, her big body. He wants to sit there and talk about I'm sleeping with trade. He wants to sit there and talk about I'm dealing with men that deal with trans. Like, all the things that you're talking about, you want for me. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know, you have this ingrained animosity for me because I'm who I am. Like, at the end of the day, I've never not been Michelle Brown. You know what I'm saying? I've never not been who I am. I have my own business. I have real estate. I have cars. I have whatever I want. If I want to wear makeup today, I wear makeup today. If I don't, I don't. And yet I'm still a woman. But you can't walk out of your house without makeup on. You can't walk out your house without a wig on. You can't walk out, you know what I'm saying? Because that takes away from his womanhood, and that's not what womanhood is.
What really amazes me is that he went to some hotel, motel, and purchased what he looks like. And he has the nerve to sit here and talk about what somebody else looked like. But what do you truly look like then? Because that's not what you was born looking like. So tell me what you really look like. What you bought was awful, and you should get your money back and sue whoever bought you in the hotel. But my thing is, you purchased to look like that. I don't think I would buy that. When people go for plastic surgery or any type of surgery, I don't think they're going for that look.
Well, I don't like, you know, I just, at the end of the day, I don't want to be going back and forth with this person. That's not what I'm here for. But I just felt like it was imperative for me to come on and at least speak to it. I want to, you know, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to go way back to when it first started. For all of y'all who just got here and don't know, you know, because we not changing the story. I know he's been on Tasha K's platform trying to change the story. He's on his platform trying to change the story, but I'm not going to allow him to change the story, because at the end of the day, history is history and you can't change it. I say that to people every day. You know, I tell you, Joshua, how I get people all the time calling me, asking me to take things down from my website because I got 13 years worth of content. But I'm like, you know, I will write something else. I will be in support of you. But what I'm not going to do is change history, because at the end of the day, like, you know, history is what it is. So when we talk about, you know, the Queen's Court and all of that, now he's trying to say, I wanted to be on the Queen's Court, that I had somebody call him because I wanted to be on it. No, that's not what happened. You remember that whole situation with Alexander Rogers?
Yeah, the person I told you never to trust. But I just think it's a tragedy, and I don't know. It didn't have to be this way. It honestly did not have to be this way. But I think what sparked everything and changed everything, that you had the receipts where he was trying to put this narrative that Kaya was such this awful person, and you wanted to go and show. No, you had the trademark put in your name, and you had receipts. So you just weren't talking about hearsay. You pulled the receipts to make him a liar. That's what bothers him the most, is that you had the guts and the receipts to say, no, this person's lying, and here's why. Because before then, it wasn't a problem.
Right. Look, I'm not gonna. Look. I could play a little bit, but here's a clip of
put Kaya's name on it. As I saw it, and put Kaya's name. Like, okay, go back. The trademark was done. I think it was like January 28th or something. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's not too late, girl. Go file another one and put Kaya's name on it. Retract that. Put Kaya's name on it. As I saw it in the post that's on straightfromtheA.com, the trademark application actually has RDE Multimedia Enterprises Inc. on it. And it's a corporation that was dissolved in 2015. Girl, you don't even pay your corporation fees. So it's like, is that even a valid corporation to be filing for this trademark? Shouldn't your lawyer have told you about that? Shouldn't your lawyer have had talked to you about the partnership, the issues with, you know, putting this corporate name on it? Why didn't you create a corporation for Queen's Court? That would have been the smart thing to do. I mean, even if you spent the money to do it, you could have created an LLC, a corporation. It could have been you and Kaya as the officers, and then bought the trademark. That wouldn't have taken much.
So you remember when I did that video?
Absolutely. And if you were
and you saw I was calling him a her then.
Correct.
Right? This was February 20th, 2018. I never met that man. I had never met Kaya. I didn't care. Like, at the end of the day, like I keep telling y'all, I was a fan of the show, just like all of y'all was a fan of the show. Just because I uncovered what was really going down, that Justin J, the king of reads, whatever he want to call himself this week, the king of HIV or whatever he is, went on his platform and said that he was going to buy the Queen's Court trademark. And he said that well after T.S. Madison had already bought it. T.S. Madison then goes on his platform and says, oh, well, I only did that because Justin J said that he was going to buy it. No, that's not the case. And so when I brought all of that out, all of a sudden, I'm the enemy. All of a sudden she hates me. She just don't like me because I'm trans. No, that's not true. So don't come on your platform trying to put out this random ass narrative 2 years later, and it's all wrong. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think that's so whack. But people have such short-term memory that they forget the real facts, and they get so caught up in all the hype. Because whenever he talking, he's sitting there screaming at the television, all mad, and then you always have to brag about how much money you have and how successful you are and stuff like that. To me, that is some miserable energy type stuff.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, you know, Josh, I'm gonna bring some other people on. You gonna hang out? You gonna stay on here?
Good. I'll stay around. Or I can come back in. You can let some other people talk. I'll come back in.
I mean, you can stay. We can all talk together. It's up to you. You're my co-host.
Oh, I don't care.
All right. Hold on.
All right.
Chuck.
Hey, Michelle. How you doing?
You was the first person up in here. You got in here before Josh, honey.
You know, I've been dying for you to come live because I saw that T.S. Madison shit the other night, and I've been mad ever since. And let me tell you why. I mean, she was talking so much shit about you, which I would probably excuse, saying you all don't like each other, so that's okay. Mm-hmm. But Josh bring up some good points. First of all, it was just constant negativity about looks and stuff like that. That's like high school shit. Mm-hmm. It was nothing valid. Plus, her downing other men that might be gay. Josh is right. If you want support, then support the whole community. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the only reason why I followed her. I've never been a fan, but I support anybody in the community. So, but I'll tell you what really pissed me off about her. When she started taking calls, first of all, she was being rude to everybody. She kept telling people if they support you to get the fuck out of her chat, all this shit. And I kept typing shit in the chat saying, I like Michelle. Michelle's right. There's something wrong with you. But nobody would respond. Mm-hmm. Then she said she was going to put the link to call in the chat. But I guess she had different platforms because I was on Facebook. And everybody was like, where's the link? Where's the link? Because I was ready to call in. Mm-hmm. I was going to call in because let me tell you, on the internet, I'm not scared of nobody. Mm-hmm. I'm a classic keyboard gangster. I will call in and talk about your mother and everything.
Okay.
So
that's my point. If you notice, Chuck, like I open my platform to anyone. Even
absolutely
for me, you can come on here and you can tell me you disagree with me and why. What I
that's another point I wanted to make. You know, when the other night when you talked about everything that was going on, when it was time to take calls, you said, "Well, if you want to call in and tell me I'm wrong or read me, go ahead and call in." All she did was take calls from, I guess, like her super fans, because she knew each one of them, and they just came on and just kissed her ass. She didn't bring anyone on to have a discussion about it, because that would have been rude right away. I would have tried to discuss it with her first, and then if she got stupid because she's so rude, you know, I would have let her have it. But she wasn't taking nobody's calls that wasn't her friend or her follower. And she didn't want nobody there that didn't follow her. And that speaks to her character. And that's the difference. When I first joined you, you took my call the first day. You couldn't have been sweeter. You know, she was horrible. I've been upset for days.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and a lot of y'all are upset, Chuck. And that's why I decided to like go ahead and go live and talk about it here, you know, in on a surface level, because I'm like, I go in deeper over on Patreon. My thing is, I did want, you know, even like Tommy Sotomayor, he even said, I refuse to call this man a woman because that's not what I see, that's not what I believe. He didn't go over there on his platform and drag him and talk about how ugly he is and that he's gay and he's crazy.
It's definitely a double standard with her. And let me tell you something. Like, she was talking so much shit. I was sweating. I was so mad. And let me tell you, I was dying for her to take my call because I just wanted to like tell her off. Because let me tell you, in person, she's a big man, so I probably wouldn't fuck with her, you know, because I'm a punk. I don't like to be hit. But let me tell you, on the internet, I would have told the bitch off.
Joshua. I wanted Joshua to respond to the part where the big man part, because Joshua was in court when I went to get that restraining order. Joshua, he went on his platform and said that, you know, when I walked in, I was taller than him and I'm big and burly. Do you recall that, Joshua?
Listen, when I tell you, they were already there in a group with all of their electronics that they could possibly bring from the house. A typewriter, a flat screen TV, a desktop computer. They had all of this stuff with this raggedy, janky lawyer. And when we came in, he got on these big cheap heels from potatoes, and he already making noises. The judge had to tell him that how immature he was. I mean, the judge had to tell him to calm down, stop pointing your finger. The judge told the lawyer, "Say you better get control of your client because this is too much." He was like, I mean,
he was trying to court. Like me and Kylie was sitting in the court, and they was in the front in a big group of guys. You know what I'm saying? They all like trying to stare us down, acting like they gonna beat us up out the court. It was like, so it's like, how you gonna sit there and talk about me and say I'm this big burly woman and I had on boots? Like you went down my whole outfit in boots, and you got a bad body, your stomach digging in your butt, and I was just like.
Am I wrong? She's a big man, right? Am I wrong? Because she's big, right?
Wrong. You are not wrong.
Like in person, I would have fight her because she probably kicked my ass, but I could tell she's big.
At this point, I want to fight because I'm so sick of her threatening to fight. At this point, just get it over with. Like, if you're gonna come beat me up, beat me up. If you're gonna come, like, send whoever you're gonna send at this point. I'm just sick of it.
Chris, is that Chris?
Hey, no, it's not.
Oh, okay.
My name is Kai. I'm from New York.
Hi.
Yeah, I am so happy that I'm on. Michelle, I've been dying to get on here. First of all, Tiff Madison is a big phony. And everything that she stands for is fake. Nothing she says makes sense. And at times I get frustrated with you ladies because you don't hold her to the fire. You fall for stupid, like
I'm in the minority. I feel like I'm blowing in the wind by myself.
You need to continue to. First of all, the whole discussion around
I get tired of getting beat up. I get tired of getting my channels flat. And it's the same thing with Kaya. It's like as soon as we like everybody keep talking about we partnered up. We never partnered up.
I've never seen it that way. I've never seen it that way. First of all, this lady or whatever, I'll respect her. I'll say this lady is trying to intimidate like a typical bully. Mm-hmm. She tries to bulldoze. She tries to speak over. Mm-hmm. I saw that ridiculous conversation that she had with Nick at night about being called fish and discontinuing speaking about it. And her entire argument made no sense. She's saying like, you can't call us the F word because we're taking ownership of it. And Nick at night was saying, well, if I grew up saying that word and now you're telling me it's offensive to you, not only am I not going to say it to you, I'm not going to say it at all. Mm-hmm. But T.S. Madison's argument is if you find fish offensive, I'm not going to say it to you, but I'll say it behind your back. But we're all black. So does that mean white folk can use the N-word behind our back as long as they don't use it to our faces? Can we all call her a man behind her back, but just not to her face? Like, it's a double standard. When is someone just going to stand in front of her and say, listen, apples, oranges, which one? You don't get to pick and choose when you use a rule of law and when you don't. I don't give a fuck what you were born as and what you identify as. I'm a gay black man. I work in corporate America, but I'm also hood as hell. I know who I am and where I fall. I know when I'm being hypocritical and when I'm not. And she knows that she's being hypocritical. And I think it's disgusting that women have to even argue the fact of, I find fish to be offensive. I am gay. I've used the term fish. Now that someone said it to me, I will never use it because it's offensive. Right. And we all know the root of it. We know where it comes from. Mm-hmm. If someone's saying to you, I don't like that, just stop using it. That's it.
I agree.
It's really not that big a deal. It does not merit, like, it needs all this conversation. It's ridiculous.
I agree. And so, and my problem, and again, I don't like the police, what people say on their platform, but I did watch that show with Nick and T.S. Madison, Nick and T.S. Madison. And what I found offensive was that T.S. Madison went on there and like tried to drag me and said, a dude said that her vagina smelled like fish. I didn't say
always pulling you into it.
He's saying that, fish is a term of endearment. So, which is it?
It's a lie.
Platform and use it both ways in a derogatory fashion and then say it's a term of endearment. And then Neek, and I'm about to say, well, her dumb ass, because I don't know her, sat there and was like, oh, as long as you don't disrespect me, I guess we're cool. And it's like, but you don't realize he's disrespecting women. It's not just
exactly
a black person saying, if you don't, as long as my white friend don't call me the N-word,
then it's okay. Exactly. This is why it's so infuriating, especially since she's from a cohort of the population that says that they're being oppressed and people aren't respecting them for their pronouns and but then she's like, I may slip up and call you a fish, but you got to just forgive me. But if I slip up and call you a man, everyone's ready to beat me down. Mm-hmm. It's such a double standard across the board. Nick at night needs to step her ass up and have some self-respect. You're a black woman. Stand by what you're saying. What she's saying is right. Mm-hmm. I find the word fish to be offensive. We all know what the origin of it is. It doesn't matter how we spin it now in the culture, so it seems appropriate and it seems like endearment. We know where it comes from. It's offensive. Our sisters are offended. Let's stop using it.
Right.
Period.
I agree. We have y'all back. My thing is, y'all should have our back. You know what I'm saying?
Weird. Especially now, like the whole conversation is so. It's like it infuriates me because it's so stupid. It should be such a benign thing. It should be, you know what? This offends me, and I say, oh damn, my bad. You're right. Never even looked at it that way. Mm-hmm. My bad. Please forgive me, and we move on. Right. We have a lot of shit we need to fight about. This is not what the fuck we need to fight about. And another thing, anyone that has money does not walk around screaming about the money they have. T.S. Madison does not have no goddamn money. I'm from New York City. We know what money looks like. Girl, please stop.
I don't look.
Come on.
I don't want to be elitist when I say this, but people who have money are not gonna come on their platform and brag. I got $150,000. What work? $150,000. Are you kidding me?
It is a joke. I made $150,000 in 6 months driving around America in a fucking dilapidated rental. Like, girl, you ain't got no money. You came to New York and you stayed in Long Island. Are you kidding?
Well, you know.
You might as well have stayed in Philly, girl, and caught the bus.
But, I mean, again, and that's another reason why I don't necessarily keep talking about it and harping on him on my platform, is because I feel like we have two different types of audiences.
I agree.
I agree. You know what I'm saying? So everyone can coexist on the internet, and he could go over there and say whatever he want to say. But you know what he keeps trying to do is bully me for what I'm saying on my platform.
Out of nowhere, though. Like, we'll look for any reason to bring you up.
Look, and bullying Lovely T for what she said on her platform. And like I said the other night, I may not like what she says, but she has the right to say it. Like, like why would you like all of a sudden try to drag her? Like, this content on content creator stuff, this is a waste of time, in my opinion. But I know y'all like it. I know it's a topic of conversation. I know y'all want to be heard, and that's why I come on here and I allow everyone to speak, not just my Patreon people, everyone.
Because it's a democracy, and that's what it should be. T.S. Madison wants to be able to critique others and never be critiqued. And she wants to be positioned. She's like fucking Trump. I don't know why everyone doesn't just call her out for what it is. She boasts to have all this money just like Trump. She bulldozes every conversation just like Trump. She turns everything back to herself just like Trump. Speaks out of both sides of her mouth just like Trump. How are you going to jump down another creator's throat for commenting on something when you comment on shit all day?
Right.
It makes no sense. And it's absurd. It's so absurd. I lose brain cells listening to this shit. It's embarrassing.
Look, and as soon as I say something, it's like all of his people come over like, you don't get no clicks and views unless you talk about T.S. Madison. I'm like, where y'all been? You know what I'm saying? I always talk about Nene, Kenya, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta, whatever, you know, because I like to keep it fun and light and throw, like I always say, I put the message Kandi. So it's like, how y'all gonna sit here and say all I do is talk about him when I never talk about him?
But you're always gonna be on his shit list, and that's because he's data adverse. Like, anyone that's a liar and a bully and someone that puts on this presents this facade of who they are, their worst enemy is someone that is fact-based, that will pull up facts, that will pull up receipts, as they say, because you could very quickly disprove what he's saying, because it's not a matter of opinion. All the extra noise and the titty bouncing and the drinking and the cursing, those are bells and whistles to take away from the fact that your content lacks substance. It's all bullshit. It's going to the circus, literally. You're always going to be on his shit list because you bring facts and you do your research before you speak.
Clearly, I'm always on his shit list, and that's fine. But my thing is, I just want y'all to keep y'all's eyes open and see. You know, it's like you have a goal to humiliate me to make your point. Like, that's not what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you got to sit there and try to like make up lies, talk about I'm buying penis and I'm doing that. You don't realize that's misogynistic. Like,
it's totally misogynistic. First of all, again, I am gay. I get it. I'm never two things I'm never going to take away: the fact that I'm black and the fact that I'm gay. It's not going to happen. But it's also the irony of a man in a wig yelling and screaming at a woman about being oppressed and not being respected as a woman is not a loss on me. Like, it's absurd. The guy is bullying you people. Like, he's bullying and screaming at you. At the end of the day, you're a 40-year-old male, and you're attacking these women about what? Like, grow up.
And why
all this money do something?
Energy with the straight male people who say the exact same thing.
It's the same thing. It really is. It's the same thing. It's the same patriarchal system. You know, and it's that same privilege from which he's speaking. He doesn't even feel the need to clarify why it's okay for him to say fish in the absence of a woman, but it's not okay for a white person to say nigger in the absence of a black person. Like, there's so many like direct contradictions that it's laughable. So, girl, just bounce your titties, talk about the days that you did porn. I mean, you sold whatever you sold on the streets, and stick to what you're a professional in. Because all this manufactured drama to rank. Girl, stop it.
Right.
Enough. And also stop acting like you have sponsors when all you have is affiliate marketing and you're giving out discount codes. Girl, no one's paying you for those spots. I head up marketing for a tech company. Stop it. It's affiliate marketing. You don't have to
because Adam and Eve reached out to me and asked me what my rate was, and I told them and they couldn't pay it. So it's
come on.
I'd rather have my YouTube forget it, because you know when you put those ads in there, YouTube kind of takes ads off. So I'm good on it.
But it's ridiculous. It's all like this facade, all of this, like, I don't know, like, get a grip.
Yes, we have another caller. And Chuck and Joshua, feel free to interject. I know I'm not a great moderator, but I just wanted to let everybody make their points. So I think y'all can unmute y'all's mics too when you have something to say. But Chuck, it was like a reverb on your mic, so I put it on mute. Michael, hello.
Hi, Michelle. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you very much. Just two very quick comments. In regards to what you're discussing at the moment, I would say obviously just ignore it. I mean, from the business perspective, obviously this is fantastic marketing, and that's exactly what it is. And you know, this is the type of stuff that sells. This is the type of rhetoric that gets people excited, that gets people riled up, that brings views and clicks. And so obviously you're just a pawn in the game, and at some point this too shall pass as well, you know. So the second point I want to make is you did a live stream yesterday, and it was surrounding this as well, but there was a side discussion that took place in regards to Africans and African Americans, and quite a few callers had said that a lot of times they feel that African Americans feel that Africans look down on African Americans. And I'm a Nigerian.
Down on them. I just feel like they're speaking from a different perspective. Like they don't have the same perspective, and their upbringing isn't the same. Like y'all have different customs, different traditions. Everything is different. And when you're raised as an African descendant of slaves, we got, you know, a long line of people telling us how things are, how things were. We, you know, we have ingrained biases, just like, you know, Caucasian people in America have biases against white people. There are Black people who have biases against, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we walk a different struggle, and we see things a lot differently. And so the disrespect that we have heard about, and when we see it, is we speak on it differently. I guess that's the only way I can explain it.
Okay, because somebody said on the show that they made a statement that, you know, Africans look down on African Americans. And one of the things I have noticed, being Nigerian myself, is that oftentimes African Americans tend to very much want to segregate and make it very clear that they are not African, or they are African Americans. Secondly, as well, I've also noticed that just to give another perspective, really, that African Americans also tend to ridicule Africa in itself, in terms of, so I've had questions of, how did you get here? Was it on a boat? Or, you know, how did you speak English? You know, things, you know, I don't want to use the word ignorant, but
it is. And there's some ignorance on both sides. You know, that's all I was saying.
And so I
wanted to
bring, I just wanted to really share that, because I think, and look, the thing is with discussions like this, there isn't, you can't wipe everybody with the same brush, you know. There are nuances of colors in all cultures, in all ethnicities, and ignorance plays on all, I'm sure, and ignorance plays on all ethnicities as well. But just from my perspective as well, what I have noticed is that maybe speaking to African Americans, you know, and maybe I've said, oh, they've heard my accent, or they've heard, you know, or they know I'm qualified in this area or that area, and the first thing is they look startled, and then the second thing goes into, well, how did you achieve this? And, you know, how did you get here? And they start asking questions which you kind of feel, you know, we're no longer in the jungle, you know. You know, so I just wanted to bring that in and just to give people a different perspective. That's all, really.
No, I appreciate
and also as well, and just a final point to make it
in context.
And just a final point.
Okay,
just a final point to make, Michelle. Sorry, because there was also a comment that was made in relation to the experiences. Now, with that, I completely agree. I think the experiences of the African American is very different to someone that has just simply migrated from Africa themselves. I do agree with that. However, there are some strong similarities as well. So I know in America you call it carnivism. But in Africa, there are definitely ingrained stereotypes in when it comes to the lighter you are, the better you are, the darker you are, you know. Yeah, all of that still very much stems and it still has roots within Africa as well. Of course, there is no way I can stand here and say I can completely understand the trajectory and the journey of an African American, because that's not my experience. However, there are definitely similarities and definitely points of there were definitely intersectionalities between both cultures. So I just wanted to really bring that into it, and hopefully, you know, just to bring some nuance to the conversation.
No, I appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it.
Not nuance. Okay.
Look, thank you, Michael. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. God bless.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
I have invited a whole bunch of people into the chat. Look, if y'all want to continue the conversation, that's great.
Which one? The Pan-African experience, or
I wasn't even trying to go down there. I wasn't even trying to go down that road right now, but I understand what he was saying, and that's why I wanted to say in context. I brought it up because, you know, people wanted me to drag Lovely T for what he said about George Floyd and Rayshard Brooks, and I said I wasn't willing to do that because I feel like her perception of the situation is different from ours as ADOS. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm not going to drag her. You know, if y'all want to drag her, fine. But, you know, if she sees it that way, she has every right to say that on her platform. And that's
what's your take on what you said, though? How do you feel about it?
I feel like it was inaccurate because I think and look, and I don't want to like talk out of turn because I did not watch her podcast and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did saw where she did that video in response to T.S. Madison posting what she posted, and she said that she only said that because that people were making profits off of these people's names after they were dead. But my thing is her bringing up the fact that they had white girlfriends and, you know, in response to the media portraying them as family. I thought that was a moot point and didn't have anything to do with the discussion of them dying, you know, at the hands of brutality.
Yeah. It was crass.
Right.
It was crass.
So, I mean, and my thing is, we all see that, you know, that's no secret. They brought it up. So where'd you get that from? You got that from the media. So the media wasn't keeping it a secret that Rayshard Brooks was with a white woman. The media wasn't keeping it a secret that, you know, George Floyd had a white girlfriend. You got it from the media. So my thing is, she was saying it to sway something, and I didn't like where it was going. That was just my opinion of it.
I mean, I think the way that it was done was super crass, and the timing was completely off.
Timing, exactly. The timing was definitely off, especially in light of the funerals just happened.
Yeah.
Like we can sit here and pontificate about the situation all day. Like I have with my friends. I ain't gonna lie, because when I saw, look, there's a video out now of Rayshard Brooks' Caucasian girlfriend getting stopped by the police about a month before, you know, he was shot and killed by the police for being DUI, and she was DUI, and what they did was they drove her home.
Her ass home,
another day. And so then, you know, she blew up Wendy's allegedly. So I'm like, well, maybe, you know, she witnessed, you know, this so I'm not gonna deny her experience just because she's a Caucasian woman. Like, you know, like, yeah.
I'm with you. We're aligned.
Okay, good. Fee Love, you in the building.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Gosh, you still here? Chuck fell off. Okay. And if y'all don't want to stay in, I know I'm normally put one at a time, and I get it. So let me know if you want to go. You can go. If not, you're welcome to contribute to the conversation. But go ahead.
I hope you guys are doing good. I just wanted to just make a quick comment. The first one, 2 quick comments. The first one is that T.S. Madison is a bully, period, point blank. It really bewilders me how a person that aspires to be a woman would actually turn around and then degrade said person that you're trying to aspire to be. You know, just like the last guy said, you got to pick a side. You can't just decide, today I want to be a woman and then tomorrow I'm going to dog women out. I mean,
you're only a woman if your makeup and your hair is looking good that day. You're only a woman on that day. On any other day, right. You just this crass person who want to read people and
exactly. And you're talking about your Johnson and the size of it and all of that. And my thing is, you don't get to be on both teams. I mean, it's not fair. Or how about this? If you want to be on both teams, be respectable to both teams. Mm-hmm. You can't disrespect women. You can't disrespect men. You can't just don't disrespect anybody. Mm-hmm. I just think that it's disgusting. The way she, whatever, the way, her whole message and the way she comes at women and the things that she says about them, talking about their private parts and all things, that is just totally disgusting. Is that the same person that found the pad or made a mention about the pad in the public bathroom? Right. Is that the same person?
Yes, it's the same person. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. And that's what I wanted to make a point. Like everybody who's on the panel right now, like people in the chat saying, but you're reading her. I'm not reading T.S. Madison. Like I come from a position of I'm a blogger. I talk about things that happen. I tell you what it is. I tell you my feelings about being attacked. And that's not reading. And everybody like, well, you throwing rocks and hiding your hand. How so? I come on my platform. I tell it like it is. I tell you what I feel it is. It's misogynistic. It's sexist. It's wrong.
100%. So 100%. But that's again coming from that patriarchal point of view where it's like you're not supposed to respond. This is a grown male that is attacking you, constantly making comments about your physical appearance when he's transitioning or she's transitioned from male to a trans woman, and you don't want anyone to comment on your physical appearance. Mm-hmm. So what is up with this double standard? Like everything about this person is riddled with double standards, and no one just says to her, explain why you think you should be able to get away with it and a woman should not, a biological woman should not. It's patriarchal, and it's the whole thing about it. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. It doesn't. It's disgusting because you're choosing whatever team you want to be on, depending on how you feel that day or how it benefits you, your platform, or whatever else. Mm-hmm. And I think it's disgusting. The other thing that I wanted to say was I wanted to make a comment on the last caller and what he noticed in regards to African-American people versus Africans that have migrated that weren't descendants of slaves. I agree with both of you all. I think that there is some ignorance on both sides of the situation. Mm-hmm. And even when I went to Africa for the first time in my entire life, I was so excited to be there. I was so excited to go. And, the first thing that me and my husband always talk about is like, we're going home, we're going to, the motherland, all of the things that and it was a beautiful experience. However, every person that I came in contact with over there was not that welcoming to me. There were some that were very welcoming and very open and, educated, not ignorant. But then there were some that I felt snubbed their nose at me once they found that I was African-American. So I do think it's ignorance on both sides in that situation. And also, I hate when people make the distinction or try to make it seem like Africa is all jungle. There are very progressive cities in Africa, very. the way it's portrayed on the TV that, you know, people is in the jungle fighting lions and monkeys and all that, that's bullcrap. And it's a very racial perspective. Africa is just as there are cities that are just as progressive in Africa as there are here in the United States. And then they have country there, just like they got country places here in the United States. It's the same thing.
Love, they want to know, where'd you go in Africa?
I went to Senegal, to Dakar. Yeah, Dakar, Senegal, which is, you know, and this is something, and I'll say this is my ignorance. I had no idea, even though I studied the transatlantic slave trade and all of that, I did not know how close it was. Like, literally, if you're in parts of Georgia on the coast, it's a direct shot across the Atlantic to Dakar, Senegal, because it's right on the east coast of the west coast of Africa. Uh-huh. So it's literally a 6-hour plane ride if you were to go a straight ride over there. A lot of people think it's like all these hours and all that. That's only with the layovers and going different places in Europe. But it is straight across the Atlantic, and it's a beautiful country, just absolutely beautiful. But there are parts of it that's progressive and parts of it that's not. But yeah, I understand what that last caller was saying, but I think that it's ignorance on both sides when it comes to that situation. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say. But T.S. Madison need to go sit down somewhere, for real. Okay. And the other piece is they need to stop. I really hate that the focus is getting off of Black people. Like, this is the whole Black Lives Matters movement, right? Exactly. So we've been fighting prejudices for so long, for so many years in this country, and finally we have a voice, and there's some shaking and moving going on. And I feel like there's some distractions, and there shouldn't be. Not now. I think we should be all fighting for the racial disparities as far as Africans. Then we can fight for, you know, the gender disparities and things like that. You know, trying to roll this all up into one ball, I don't think that's fair.
Right. I agree with you. I totally agree. Thank
That's
you.
very true.
Ilaka, you're on the line. How you doing?
Hey, Michelle. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, not too bad. Actually, when I was coming onto YouTube to try and join the live here, when I got the notification, I saw a suggestion from T.S. Madison, and he put Gary Coleman's picture. And as soon as I saw that, actually my jaw dropped. I was like, wow, really? Are we really going there again?
Well,
like, I really don't understand.
That was the whole premise of this live, really, was the disrespect that he had in that live. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's really disrespectful. You know, it's one thing, like, and I find it so annoying and frustrating that when people like him watch your lives, you're actually giving valid commentary in the sense that you try to be as unbiased as possible. Mm-hmm. Am I on mute? Oh, sorry. No. You try to be as unbiased as possible. You always try to check your facts. You know, whenever you bring up the topics, you let people come in and discuss. And you're even welcome to bring anyone that's actually opposing you. You don't actually straight out go to try and bash people. And I think that's really fascinating that he can go so out of his way. And I looked at what the thumbnail said, over 1 hour. So over 1 hour where you're just going to bash another person, bash someone simply because they are a woman. And in his case, from what we've all seen, obviously, it's because you're a Black woman, you know. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm so sick and tired of this this culture where, you know, we go on about, as Black people, we go off on white people, other people who are not Black, for appropriation. We need to go for people like them who are also trying to appropriate the female sex, because that's literally what he's doing. He's trying to benefit from off of looking like a woman when he's actually disrespecting women.
Right. Exactly.
That does not.
And that's been my point.
It's so upsetting.
That's been my point all of these years. Like, when I do speak about him, is that, you know, he's pandering to his audience, and that's fine. Go ahead and do that, but don't ride the fence and then try to disrespect women on the one hand, and then on the other hand act like, you know, you want all their money. Like, come on, like, I don't know.
He needs to decide what he wants. He needs to decide. Pick a team, like you said earlier. He needs to decide. he does need to pick a side at the end of the day. You cannot be like on one side. It's for me, it's just like in my brain, I'm trying to figure it out. And it makes no sense whatsoever. You know, it speaks so many levels of mental health issues. And I'm not even trying to go down on anyone who's got proper mental health issues, but it is a psychological thing, you know, from narcissistic personality disorder to clearly someone who's got delusions of grandeur, because you cannot be constantly throwing stones and hiding your hand like that.
And lying about your
that glass house if you're going to keep throwing stones, right? Get out of the glass house. It's really that simple. You know, and I don't understand, if you're going to have a public platform like that, and especially like us as Black people trying to represent ourselves and our people, you cannot be going out like that, bashing one after another whenever they come against you. You look at the men, they're saying the exact same thing as the women are saying, but you don't go after them. As soon as the women say something, oh, it becomes a problem.
And look, and you, that was a great segue. Let me play this sound bite. Let me play this sound bite of a person who said, hold on. Wait a minute. I want to play this sound. Wait a minute. Damn, I can't hook up no more. Hold on. Turn my damn speaker on. I just want to know, why is it okay for males to say this?
T.S. Madison never cussed me out for me saying, I will never call you ma'am. T.S. Madison never cussed me out because I told this man, I will never call you ma'am. I don't give a fuck.
So you tell me he has never gone in on these straight men who say this all the time.
Right.
Like, he's friends with these people. He say they cool because they're all men. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as a woman says anything that he doesn't like, all of a sudden it's a fight.
And I think that's crazy. And you know what's interesting is you see this happening a lot when it comes to people like him, basically, who are supposed to be representing the gay community, you know, and the Black ones, that is. But I don't see any of that from their white counterparts. They actually respect their own women.
First of all, they look at us with disgust. They laugh at us. Do you understand? This makes us look awful in the LGBTQ community.
It does.
I mean, but think about what he did to Josh. Think about what he did to Josh. Never talked about his sexuality, period. He's gay or straight. It doesn't matter. Why would he use his sexuality to weaponize his sexuality in order to go at me when y'all all a member of the same community, allegedly? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just felt like that was wrong as well.
It's gang mentality. And the fact that he's so obsessed with this guy's sexuality is disgusting.
Right.
And it's kind of borderline what one would call a slave mentality, where you are bottled up in this place where you feel the need to kind of beat your own people up in order to make yourself feel better, if that makes any sense. Because at the end of the day, he might see it as though he's attacking these women, but in fact, he's actually attacking himself, because at the end of the day, who gave birth to him? It was not a white woman. It certainly was not a white woman. You're disgracing yourself. You're disgracing your race. You know, and I think that's so crazy. And quickly, sorry, Michelle, I just want to touch quick base on what Michael said. I think that is a great subject that he brought up, but I also think that that's something that we need to, it's an ongoing discussion that we need to have as Black people in terms of integrating and understanding each other better, to kind of erase the ignorance that we might have and the perceptions that we might have about each other's cultures. And this is talking from someone who is, I'm very much African. I was born and raised in Zambia and then grew up here in the United Kingdom. And so I've kind of had the best of both worlds, where I've been in a predominantly very white area, and then I kind of grew up in a very cultured background where I had a very strict African father, where we were not allowed to do certain things, and at the same time growing up watching a lot of American television. And I like the fact that I am kind of part of this squad and I'm able to have these conversations, because I'm getting to know the perspective of my counterparts who are in America, to get to find out a little bit more. It's one thing to have to just watch videos and this, that, and the other from YouTube or Instagram or whatever. But if you're actually able to be a part of the discussion, you get to understand the mindset and where people are coming from. And I think that creates a better dialogue. And I would highly suggest, like, you can make a whole video. We can have another live maybe entirely where we can actually have this discussion in more depth. I think it would be really great and healthy for us.
Okay, I would. Yeah. Well, thank you, Alaka, Miss PhD.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm feeling a bit high from sweet, so yeah, I'll go back to the chat.
Okay, thanks, Alaka. I appreciate you as always.
Bye.
All right, bye. Okay, Miss PhD.
Yes, thank you for having me tonight. I really wanted to come on and talk about the fish comment by saying it behind our backs, because I have many friends and family members who belong to the LGBTQ plus community. And when I'm around people and those members are not around, if someone calls them names that are out of line, such as the tranny, or calls them the F word, I'm there to say, don't say that. Mm-hmm. So why are our LGBTQ friends getting with their friends and saying, oh, we're going to call women fish, and no one stops it? Because we have their backs all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's just so, it's just not fair, and it's just not right. And I listened to someone else's podcast today. They were talking about they were going to say fish behind our backs as well. And I thought, wow, but we defend you guys all the time.
Once you've been put on notice that something is offensive, anything is offensive by your audience, by your core audience, why wouldn't you heed the message? Like, you know, as opposed to the many people who say, well, it doesn't bother me. That's fine. It doesn't bother them, which means it shouldn't matter if you stop saying it to them as well. You know what I mean? So
exactly. You know. And even in schools, we tell kids, you can't say that. Don't say that about this person. You can't call that. We're always stopping people from inflaming the LGBTQ community. But to hear that it's still going to be said behind our backs, it's just hurtful. And it makes me feel, who am I defending? So I just wanted to come on and say that we really want, you know, that same solidarity. If we're defending you behind closed doors with heterogeneous people, we want you to do the same thing for us. So that's all I wanted to share tonight. Thank you.
And Miss PhD, as a Black man and as a gay man, I want to apologize for that, because I want to make sure it's clear that I don't endorse that. And there's a cohort of the gay Black community that does not. We think it's abhorrent, it's repulsive, and it's disgusting that it's coming out of a group of people that are fighting for respect around pronouns. So you want people to respect how you should be referred to or addressed, while you are disrespecting the women that brought us life. Right. And I think that's disgusting. So I apologize, and I do want you to continue to be an ally, because just like bad cops make it dangerous for good cops, bad people in every cohort, even in the gay community, make it bad for people like me who don't want to be called the F word. And I will never disrespect a woman and say fish in her presence or in her absence. It would be offensive to my mother. It would be offensive to my sisters, and it's offensive to you. So I do apologize.
Thank you.
I definitely accept your apology. And honestly, from what you shared on the show, I wouldn't think you would carry on the opposite. I couldn't imagine you being in a group of LGBTQ plus your entire community and bashing us. Based on what you said tonight, I wouldn't even see that being an issue with you or for you, but thank you. I definitely accept your apology, you know, but I just wanted to share that, you know, we have a lot of people's backs, but people have to start having ours. And then also, Michelle, I'm with you in this fight. I've been listening to the podcast and I don't like it. There have been some people that I have unsubscribed from because I have been disgusted by the names that they call us. They call us witches. I mean, it's different to come out and call, you know, out a person's behavior. You're commentating on their behavior. But when you start going into the name calling and just taking us down from saying you'll never get married, you'll never have kids, private parts are rotten, you know, it has just been just disgusting to hear. But just thank you tonight for having me on your show, and I really appreciate it. I love your show. I listen when I'm doing work around my house, and I am a PhD student, so I'm not Miss PhD for nothing. But thank you so much. Have a good night.
I appreciate you.
Good night.
Welcome. Bye.
I got some smart people on here, honey. Okay, now we have a person who has dragged me. I saw a clip of your video. Is this Elizabeth?
Yes, because I'm the one that called Fanny and told. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you introduce yourself?
Do what?
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Catherine.
Okay, so you're gonna start off lying.
Do what?
So you're gonna start off lying. You just
and
said
with hella attitude.
A sweetheart. My name is Catherine Elizabeth Whitmore, and
Catherine Elizabeth. I just saw you as Elizabeth on YouTube.
Yeah, Elizabeth the Queen is my social media name. My name is Catherine Elizabeth. That's my brand. That's my cosmetic line. That's what it is.
Okay.
Catherine is my first name. Elizabeth is my middle name. Okay. I'm trying not to be hostile with you because I don't conduct myself.
Why would you be hostile with me? We don't know each other. Why would you be hostile with me?
Because of your content. I saw what you did. I was getting ready for my show Sunday. I'm the one that called Maddie and like, why does this girl have you? Why are y'all even speaking about each other? You guys were in court. So there should be no content.
You're not in court. That's where you're. Wait a minute. Let me correct that. Let me correct that before you get in here with the attitude. We're not in court. Where are we in court at? Are you in the courthouse? I had a restraining order back in February 2018. The restraining order is over. T.S. Madison went on his platform and tore it up, basically telling people to come for me.
Right.
So while you're sitting there on your throne, Queen Elizabeth, you know, I mean, don't come in here with the attitude. I don't know you.
And we're having a respect.
Are you going to chastise me or are we going to talk?
Well, you called into my platform.
Right.
So I mean, what are you calling for?
Right.
I'm calling because all this nonsense that you guys are talking about, all this
so to me, look, you can fight for your rights, but I can't fight for mine.
No, not at all. I don't call it. I'm a mother and a grandmother. Okay, let's be clear.
Okay. Are you trans? Are you trans?
Excuse me?
Are you trans?
I am a woman. I don't use any of those descriptions. See, that's the thing. There are a lot of women
on your show. You said you were on your show. Well, let me tell my audience on your show. And you were insulted by the things that I said about trans women. I have respected you.
You have the right to be.
I have respected you. I have not called you anything other than what you asked. I asked your name when you came on, Miss Catherine. I haven't called you anything other than you want to be called. And so you came on my platform to berate me about something that I said.
That is not why I'm here. I don't have time for that. When I come to speak.
But you have time. You came here. What are you here for?
I mean, are you finished? Am I allowed to speak now? Okay. I am the one who saw your promo and saw my girlfriend, my producer. She says, that's Madison. I said, no, it's not. You made her nose about this big. Okay, for clickbait. So I called her. I said, girl, it's going down. Okay. Now.
So you were being messy. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not messy. I don't really get into
other people have. I mean, the thing is, when you look at people who run between platforms and say certain things, it's going down. What is going down?
Right.
I don't go back and forth in between platforms. I put myself in a different position, but I try to come down and be humble when I deal with people. But I don't run in between platforms. I pay attention to what's going on, and I'm here for promotional purposes for my brand, just like everyone else is on social media, okay? So I'm going to represent myself in a classy, sophisticated way at all times.
Okay. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Okay? And you... Anyway.
Nothing. I'm waiting for you to demonstrate anything. You're not going to come over here and bully her.
You haven't said a word yet. You haven't said anything.
I didn't come here to disrespect her.
All right, well, get to it.
But I've not been allowed to get to the point.
Do. Get to it. Get to it. Let's talk.
You mute him so I can speak. Is that possible?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, are you going to let me speak, sir?
Those lights are hot, but yes, you may.
Are you going to let me speak?
Yes, yes, you may. Bring substance, though. I like substance.
What is stopping you from speaking? Is there something? I don't know. You getting your words out because I'm not understanding. I shut up and you talk.
I'm being interrupted, and it's coming from all angles, and I can't even get a word out. It's really simple. It only takes about 3 minutes of your time. Okay, thank you. My God. So I understand how women feel about the word fish. I don't use that word. It's not something that I use. That's not something that I do. There are people in the LGBT community that do so. My point is much bigger than this. First of all, we are all brown.
Right.
That's number one. Okay. We are all brown people and we are all oppressed. Okay. Very clearly. What you and Madison have going on personally and what you guys do on social media, that's between the two of you. However, being a woman who supports other women, all women, not just biological women. I support all women, okay? I have about 50 girlfriends that will attest to that, okay? I don't go back and forth with people, calling them out of their name and going through all of that.
You land the plane. What are you getting to? What is your point?
The point of the matter is, you took your time to go out of your way. If you were the bigger person, if you were the person of couth and decorum, you would not even acknowledge someone that you have had so much foolishness with. It's been going on now for what, 3, almost 4 years. It's nonsense. It's redundant, and
you just admitted to running back and stoking the fire. So you are contradicting yourself. You just to say a whole lot of nothing, girl.
I'm really not even talking to you. I can't even see your face. You're the light.
Leave this lady alone. Just stop. You just said a lot.
I really don't want to be talking to you because I can't see you.
You just said a lot of nothing.
Can I say one thing? I think it all started from, she made a comment, but she was only making commentary. It had to do with the news that day. It had nothing to do with a personal attack. Right. The other young lady is the one that got personal. She was commenting on the news.
Right.
No, that's not what I'm
Wait, Elizabeth, Miss Catherine, this is when it started. This is when I did.
know all about that. I know all about that. I don't have.
This was 2018. This was not 3 or 4 years ago.
I know all about that.
Madison never met him personally, and this is where it started. Was when I called him out with the trademark.
But I don't. I know where this started. I remember when all of this went down.
Okay, well, if you know that, why would he attack me for my commentary?
But what was the purpose of having Madison on the show Sunday? Can you tell me that?
Because it was commentary about what was going on. It was commentary about okay, I watched the video. The TEA was only a 10-minute segment of a 2-hour video. He was not the entire video. The actual 2-hour video, for those of the squad members who are here, you probably saw the clip. The 2-hour video was actually about Nene, Kenya, B. Simone, and then I talked about Lovely T and T.S.
Yes, Michelle.
It was nothing more than commentary. The same thing you do on your platform, the same thing he does on his platform. So why are you over here trying to police my commentary?
I'm coming over here because the issue at hand is you guys are acting like fish is a word that is getting.
Oh my God!
You just said you don't use the word fish. So what is
it? You're here because of the word fish. You've already said that you don't use the word fish, so it's a moot point. So
right, Michelle?
This is my point, and this is the only point that I wanted to make to you all. Okay, and this doesn't really have reference to do with you, Michelle. It's the fact of what young women like B. Simone and a lot of other women in this world do. Not all women, but they have a hand in my sister's dying, okay? And not all women. 5 girls have been murdered, okay? They have been murdered. And I want women to understand that when you decide to out a trans person, or when you decide to...
How is that relevant to this conversation? I agree with you, but how are they... I agree with you.
Dying. Did you see what happened in Minnesota, Michelle? Right. Did you see what happened in Minnesota to that young lady that story?
And I saw how a lot of trans people felt that it was appropriate for that woman in Minnesota to get killed by those men after she outed them.
No, absolutely not.
Michelle, don't let this lady demonize you.
I'm not.
This is irrelevant.
No. What she did,
I think you've gone off the topic.
Right. This is an attempt to demonize you and align you with being anti-trans. And I am going to stand there as a member of the gay community to say
I have nothing but respect.
I want her viewers and her people to know.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You first started out with the fact that you don't use fish, and then you came back and told us that you stoked the fire by going back to Fish Madison, and now you're asking Michelle why would you respond to Fish Madison, and then it turns into someone that's in Mississippi. Goodbye.
Match with this clown.
Can I speak?
Mrs. Catherine, why Oh, you had to mute her, Lord Jesus. I would just like to know why, if your goal is and you admire women, why would you attack a woman? I just want to know why. It doesn't make sense to me. I would think that you will hold a woman in high regard.
I can answer that.
Okay, is this Miss New York? Miss Fake New York?
Yes,
hey, girl.
Wait, hold up. Did you call me Mr. New York or?
Oh no, honey. I called you Miss New York.
Oh, hey, yes. I just want to say that this really sounds like Mrs. Mandy Manshand's agents.
Right.
Trying to play the victim as though this is an attack on the transgender community. It is not. Just because you have beef with one individual does not mean that there's beef with the entire community. And what is she saying? She's still running her mouth. What is happening?
She need to go ahead and pull a Nene and close that laptop, because I'm just like...
Well, can I ask her a question?
Sure, you can. She can hear you. But she ain't trying to. She's not trying to hear anybody.
Miss Catherine, can you hear me? Can you unmute her just for 1 second?
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Katie? Or Catherine? Or
yes,
what is it again?
Catherine, I can hear you.
Okay. You look gorgeous, by the way. I love that yellow. I just want to know why you're on here trying to pull the victim card. Like, what's really going on here?
Oh, I'm never nobody's victim. Oh, no. Oh, no. I am nobody's victim.
Okay.
Never.
Well, why are you trying to act like this is an attack on the entire community and you know it's not?
Why do you think that I feel like it's an attack on what?
Just the way you're speaking. I mean, if someone
that's just the way I speak. I'm a very authoritative figure. That's just the way I speak. People often take the way my tone. They take it in a different context.
No, it's not the tone. It's the content of what you're saying. Okay.
The content of what I'm saying. So, do you think that I'm speaking a lie? Do you think that what I'm saying is untrue? Because I'm only speaking facts. There have been 5 transgender women killed in the last.
Well, you know what? I listen to the same news that you listen to concerning trans women who are getting killed. And you cannot take one murder and, try to say that this is what's happening in all of the transgender community. There is a lot of transgender women who are getting killed for reasons that are many, to be honest with you. Murders that I know in particular are women who try to use the I'm going to expose you card against these straight men, and then they end up getting killed. And then you cannot say that, these women are the victims when they are the victimizers. So a lot of these cases,
you're bullshit. You're wrong. You're off. That's
not 100% true.
Who, me?
I honestly think this conversation is going left.
Trying to avoid the conversation from going into.
Yes.
That's disgusting. And now what you're saying may be your belief, but that's going to be aligned or attached with Michelle. And
no. Wait. Are you saying that I'm full of shit?
And you need to be disgusted with yourself for even using her platform to say that those women are the ones that are victimizing someone.
No, there's a lot of cases like that. I don't know what cases you're looking at, but certainly the ones that I have seen. And I'm not saying no. Okay, let me.
But this right here is about T.S. Madison. Attacking Black women, calling them fishes.
Right.
It's about bullying women.
You know what? Can I just
Whenever women mention T.S. Madison's name, when a man mentions T.S. Madison's name, he don't ever come for them. Whenever a Black woman mentions
but I have
his
to
name,
finish
they
saying
go
what I want to
crazy.
say. No, excuse me. I have to say what I want to say because, you guys are not going to try to flip this around on me as though I'm telling lies. There are a lot of transgender women. No, there are a lot of transgender women that I have known personally who have gotten murdered because they tried to play the exposing card.
You seem like one of the women who incited. I'm just going to tell you.
No, that is not the case.
What I was talking about.
Well, I apologize.
By the way.
Okay. But this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. You know what we're talking about?
Well, you know what? Well,
hello.
I just want to say that I apologize if you think that that is what I was trying to say, because it is not. Like I said that there are numerous reasons.
Let's just get off that topic, okay? Let's just move away from that, because that's not what we were talking about, and I don't want to villainize a whole community. So let's just go ahead at the issue at hand. We were talking about misogyny. We was talking about the issue of we was talking about a little bit about fish. We was talking about the hypocrisy. We was talking about all of that, and you're welcome to chime in on that. But I don't want to go into this whole
Michelle, can I say something?
Yes, Chuck, go ahead.
Oh, hi. I got disconnected before, but I'm glad you took my call again. I want to say, first of all, this isn't about the transgender community. This is about T.S. Madison and Michelle. And to come on here, and this is directed to the lady in yellow, to come on here with a superior attitude and try to talk down to Michelle because of how she is addressing T.S. Madison is bullshit, to be honest. T.S. Madison put up a picture of Michelle with Gary Coleman's face. Why didn't I see you call T.S. Madison the other night and give her a lecture?
Okay.
First of all, and I think I told you this the other day, Michelle, I have had some arguments with, I am part of the gay community, and I support transgender people. But I have gotten into arguments with transgender people, and the minute they call me a faggot or whatever, they open the door to me to call them Mr. and stir like that. So just because you may use that to address T.S. Madison doesn't make you anti-trans. That's the point I want to make.
Yes.
T.S. Madison said these things, and now Michelle is supposed to show her the ultimate respect and not refer to her as sir?
Right.
Give me a goddamn break. And I don't know what you're holding up, honey, but I can't see it.
She's holding up my my channel. And I mean,
I saw the picture you did. I saw the picture you did. And if you ask me, I'd probably tell you it's petty. But T.S. Madison was just as petty. So why are we lecturing Michelle? My problem with T.S. Madison wasn't even that she was insulting you, even though I like you and I didn't like it. But I would have just said, okay, they just fighting. My argument with her is that she came on acting like a victim. She made comments about the gay community when she's part of the community. She only wanted to hear good things about her. She wasn't interested in hearing another side. Look at you, Michelle. You took this woman's call. I would have hung up on her, but you've let her stay. I'm just trying to say that this is not about transgender people. Yes, murdering transgender women is a problem. I agree. Yes. I support that. Black trans lives matter. But that's not what we're talking about here. And that's not an issue in any, not even a little bit. This is a problem between T.S. Madison and Michelle. And if one is going to insult using some kind of insult, then the other one can't get upset and say, oh my God, you can't call me mister. You can't call me big hands. You can't have it both ways. Respect begets respect. So that's it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take over or whatever.
No, thank you. I appreciate. Look, I always appreciate your input, and everybody is welcome. Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome. You can let the lady in yellow yell at me now. I'll be quiet.
Okay. Miss Catherine, would you like to speak?
In my opinion,
I like that when you can't hear.
I don't know what happened Sunday, but I know on Sunday you set it off, baby girl. You set it off.
That's not true.
I'm the one that called her and told her.
Look, he actually spoke about me in the Lovely T video, because I was doing research because I was going to talk about what Lovely T said, and he said something about that bitch, Michelin tire, ATLien, whatever. So he started dragging me.
You have a beef that you had for some time. The point of the issue was what B. Simone did. What B. Simone said, and a lot of women
and T.S. Madison backtracked on that as well, because he said he did not mind the word tranny. So what was the argument about in the first place?
It's not. It doesn't bother me either.
So why are you here? Why are you here?
It's not about that for me.
Why did he call her a dumb bitch? Why did he call her a dumb bitch? Because she said the word tranny, but then gets on his platform and says, "Well,
I saw the tweet. I saw the tweet.
Was it?
I saw the tweet. But okay, my purpose is more in reference to the undertone. The undertone of some women, not all Okay.
The undertone. Woman went on a podcast years ago and said something about tranny, and y'all thought it was offensive. That's what I thought it was. Now you're turning it into issues because now you're making it a community-wide problem. We were talking about what B. Simone said, and the word tranny, and that came over into the word fish. That came over into respect politics, like who respects who, and that's where the argument lies. So for you to say, "Well, I'm okay with the word tranny," for T.S. Madison to say, "I'm okay with the word tranny," what is the argument?
This is the argument. This is the issue. It's the undertone, Michelle.
Well, you don't know what the undertone is. You can't hear somebody speak and assume what they mean. Right?
No. When you live and you walk in the life and you know what's going on,
the undertone was you didn't like me because I'm a woman. I felt that way.
No,
I'm a real woman. Well, no, you can't tell me that's not the feeling. If you can sit there and say it's the undertones, that's the undertones I got.
Well, I'm sorry, and as I said, people generally take my authoritative tone in a different way, but that's not the issue.
Whether you meant it or not, if that's how I feel, that's how I feel, and the same for you.
That's how you feel. I cannot change that for you. I can tell you that is not my issue with you in the least. That would be petty and mediocre.
Well, B. Simone said that as well, and y'all.
B. Simone, you heard what B. Simone said.
But you said that there wasn't an issue. So how is there an issue if you're okay with the word tranny?
You keep going into the word tranny. That's not the undertone for me. The undertone is Atlanta is a mess. You better be careful. You swipe up on a tranny. Half the time, men don't know that they're a tranny until they get in the bed with them. That is a soundbite. Women have a certain amount of power over men that can make.
Now it's our fault. Now it's our fault as women to police men to tell them who they should be attracted to. So it's our fault as women to police men to tell them who they should be attracted to. So it's our fault.
A lot of women have issues because they don't like it. Just be real about it.
Because we don't like it, it's not going to stop a man from liking you. You might not like a man like you,
You can incite, and that's what goes on a lot of times.
And therein lies the misogyny. Therein lies the misogyny that trans people still feel like that these women are, doing things to stop them from, receiving love and affection from men.
Not these women. She's saying you, Michelle, you're to blame for trans issues. That's the undertone. I'm going to do a Portia. Can you see my eye rolling?
Listen,
yes, Chuck.
A young lady that was killed in Ohio. She was lured to a park by a woman and two guys. They wanted to steal her car. They didn't just steal her car. They stole her car and they killed her. That's the undertone. So what I'm saying is women have to take responsibility.
Women is not killing.
But what is your point? Are you trying to say that Michelle calling him a tranny or Big Hands is contributing to that?
That's not what I'm saying.
Then what are you saying? Because I don't get it either.
You know what? At this point, Catherine just wants to hear herself talk. She's enjoying it.
No, that's not the thing.
Clearly. I mean, are you trying to say what Michelle did Sunday contributes to that?
I'm done with
thank God you got rid of her. Because she wasn't making no fucking
sense. I really wanted to know what Catherine thought about transsexual men bullying women. She never ever answered that question because I really would like to know because it's done a lot. And it's not fair.
She feel like it's women's responsibility. She feel like we beating up on trans. That's what I got from it.
But that's crazy because there's really, I mean, I hate to say, I have someone that's very close to me that was born a hermaphrodite. And for those that don't know what a hermaphrodite is, that's a person that's born with both sexes. That means they have sexual organs of male and of female. Yeah. And so, I'm just saying that for the audience. And basically, the choice was made for my close friend. The choice was made for them as a child, and now that they're older, to be a male. But they basically have had, really the mind and the thought of a female from birth. I was there when they were born. So, to make a long story short, even though they are transitioning and in a process of transitioning, you know, she still feels that even though she is considering herself and she's working towards considering herself a woman, she still feels that as a man and being raised as a male and having testosterone and things that her whole life, that she has an advantage over women that were born women, and that's just you know, her opinion. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair for a transsexual woman that was a man at one time to pick a fight with a woman. I don't think it's a fair fight.
Yep, I agree.
Like, she came in mad. You know, she came in with an attitude.
It was like testosterone.
Like the energy was already, okay, this is about to be a fight. And I'm like, I'm letting you speak, and we still didn't get anywhere. So I don't know. I don't know what to say.
And she didn't want to address the disrespect. She only wanted to address what happened. And I don't get it twisted. I think what happened to that young lady was horrible. I think it was disgusting. All of those adjectives. But that's not what our topic was today. Our topic was, why does T.S. Madison bully Black women? Women in general.
Because it is the testosterone. I have a story to tell.
Okay.
My sister, she was getting into an argument with a transgendered woman. And this woman, it wasn't obvious that she was transgendered, but I knew that this individual was transgendered. And, you know, I was like, I'm not about to let my sister fight this transgendered woman, you know, because at the end of the day, it's just what the lady just said, you know, they have an advantage. You know, that's kind of like the strength of, no shade, but it's the strength of a man. And I'm not going to let my sister fight someone who has the strength of a man.
And you know, this whole, oh God, it's exhausting. And just the fact, that's why I always be like, I'm not fighting no man. And you know, it's low key shade, but it's factual.
Right.
I'm not trying to fight no man.
Like, but it's factual though.
That, you know, T.S. Madison always results to, I could get somebody to beat you up.
T.S. Madison, you know, like a man.
Right. It's always like a violent, I'm telling you, she is the ultimate bully. Everything about her, and she's never gonna like you, Michelle, because you're fact-based. She's never gonna like you for that reason. You can blow her cover every time.
Yep.
There's a lot of
my loved one wouldn't even compete in sports because he felt like he had an advantage because of the, you know, him being born with both sexes. So he wouldn't even compete in sports. So I just, you know, I don't know.
Anyone who has a penis and still uses their penis is a man.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait until everybody like calms down a little bit, because I think that's really what's wrong, and I don't want to sound like I'm coming for my entire community as Black people, as gay people, by saying this, but I think there is a problem in our community where we have gotten so used to yelling and screaming to get our point across that it gets lost in translation. So first of all, let me say this, Michelle. Let me go here, and you guys give me at least 1 minute and 30 seconds before you say anything. What I want to say, let me bring spirit and spirituality into all of this. The discord is a spirit, it's a demon. So when you let discord into your presence, it's going to continue to matriculate, and it's going to continue to destroy and divide any way possible. So what you do to quell that discord is hit it at the source. I honestly, and I know this is not because of the way things have been said and, oh, she's this and oh, she's that. I think that this needs to end. It's been 3 years of this discord and this just division. If y'all get on, I mean, and you don't even have to do it face to face, get on and have a conversation with her. At least you can say you tried. At least you can say you did what you had to do as a Black woman standing in yourself to end things.
Okay. And this has been going on for 2 years. That's correct. But you got to understand where I'm coming from, where My safety was in jeopardy. They put my phone number online. They harassed me. They threatened me. Like, it was more than that. Like, it's been 2 years. I'm not going, like you saying Discord. My Discord is protecting my peace, and protecting my peace is not being anywhere around that energy. Like, when we went to court, the energy was off the chain. Like I had Joshua on here to explain it. I didn't want to have anything to do with him or with his crew, but yet they were trying to film us. They were trying to do little things. They were getting berated by the judge. Like, it was just all kind of just wackiness going on. My thing is, I wanted to protect my safety, my sanity, my property, period. You know what I'm saying? I already put my phone number online. I know you know, I already Googled me, you know, I already researched me, you already pulled my rental property, you did everything. So my thing is, I didn't want it to be a position where somebody was trying to attack me or attack, you know, anything that I own. So, you know, when the judge said I'm giving everybody a restraining order, I was perfectly fine with that. And now, you know, my thing is, it's been 2 years. I had no animosity towards him. Like, I was literally talking about the topics, which is what I'm doing now. Whether I say something he likes or not is none of his fucking business. Stay off of my platform. I'm done. Like, he talks about me all the time, from what I understand. People run back and forth all the time. I'm not sitting on my platform every time he says something about me and running and saying something. So this was a topic to be discussed because, you know, look, I was brought up, it was misogynistic. I felt like, you know, through my female base, we needed to have a discussion. I welcome everybody. So, you know, there's no other conversation to be had. This is the conversation.
But do you see how that just happened, though? Do you see how you said somebody went back and told him because they were listening to him, and then somebody came back and told you? And I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of these people that are listening and commenting in, they seem like they are that spirit jumping into these different people.
That's every spirit. That's gonna be like when you are on YouTube, when you talk about anything, you open the conversation up for other people to chime in. Period.
But I don't think that should add to y'all's problem, though, just because they're running back and saying.
Therein lies the problem. It's all shits and giggles for me. I don't have a problem. Do you see me coming on here saying I want to beat him up, go get him, strike his channel, flag him, he making money off of me? Do you see me saying that? I'm fine. Put my picture of Gary Coleman up. Talk about my pussy and my vagina and whatever else. Talk about who you feel like I sleep with. That is free press for me. Good.
No, we're not going to endorse that. That's just...
I'm not offended by anything he does. My thing is you're showing yourself. Your slip is showing every single time you do something like that. And, you know, I'm going to sit and talk about it. If it's offensive, if it's offensive as a woman, like I always say, I'm going to come at the person and not, you know, your sexuality or whatever the case, come at me and not my vagina. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a good discussion to have because I feel like it's a learning moment for everyone. And so for all the people who want me to shut up, I'm never going to shut up. I'm always going to stand 10 toes down for what I believe in, just like you should. And so like the trans people who say, well, we're marching for our rights, we're doing this. Well, why can't I, as a Black woman, speak up for my rights?
Right.
And you should. And you should.
Okay, so,
but speaking of the thing you just said in reference to education and deading things, a lot of your listeners and speakers are going to disagree with me with this, but I said it in the comments. If I were to call you a bomb right now, how would you feel? Would you know what it meant? If I were to call you a bomb, B-O-M-B, how would you feel?
I don't necessarily care. I'm not about names or labels. I don't care. You could call me man. I wouldn't care because that's not
no. But would you know what it means?
That's the point I'm making. You know, you know, and I can say my whole thing about trans because my thing is, if you want to walk as a woman, you want to be as a woman. It's not even about the labels of you being a woman or he or whatever.
No, that's not where I was going though. That's not
what you are in your soul. That's what you are in your soul. So at the end of the day, whatever you call me Gary Coleman. You can call me bum. You can call me fish. You can call me whatever. But it's not going to change who I am as a person. So I don't really care about labels. I come on here and talk about it because I feel like other people think it's important.
That's not even where I was going with it, though.
Oh, okay.
So when with me calling you that, it's a lingo that I will use when describing a beautiful female to some of my friends. Damn, that's a bomb right there. Damn. Oh my God. Look at that. Y'all see that? Where I'm going with that is, what we have to do is stop empowering so many words to create more discord. Fish, I'm sorry, y'all can disagree all y'all want. Fish was not meant to be anything racist or anything towards anyone.
Racist.
Fish wait. Before we jump in, let me just finish. What we should not be doing is going into another community and saying, hey, I'm going to take all of your lingo, but that word right there, that's disrespectful. You can't say it. I don't care if I know what it means or not. You can't say it because I feel like it means this. So y'all got to shut up and y'all can't say that. I don't feel like we should be doing that because a lot of their lingo is used in everyday society, which is, and it's other stuff. Let's just say this. Let me just be devil's advocate here. It's other stuff that's in their lingo.
Can I just
that could also be disrespectful. We don't even know. You know?
I mean, Paul, you said you can't come into your community, but my thing is, we could disagree on that all the day long because, you know, Black women in the 70s were the originators of sass and shade and all of that. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of gay men tried to emulate Black women. So, you know, therein lies the problem. You say we can't take from you or you can't take from us or whatever the case may be. But you say you're offended by something, we listen and we heed to that. When we say we're offended by something, you should listen and take heed. It doesn't matter what the origination is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you're going to use it in a derogatory way on one hand, like T.S. Madison did to me and said, you know, somebody said her pussy smell like fish. But then on the other hand, say it's a term of endearment. How are we supposed to take that and be like, okay, well, you know, as long as it's not used that way towards me, it's great. That's just like the N-word. You know,
I was just about to go there because you just said that. I was just about to go there.
White people use the N-word in songs. You know, is it okay to say niggas in Paris? You know, you know,
is it though?
But it's like
we still use it. Let's be honest, we still use it. So is it though?
But wait, hold on. To layer on what.
But if a white person walks up to you and say nigga blah blah blah, you won't want to sock him in the face. So you can't choose on what you're offended by. If that's a word we want to cut and say no, you can't use that word, then you can't use that word. And if women tell you you can't use that word, regardless of if it's some people that's okay with it, you should take heed to the people who are offended. Not, you know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I agree with what Josh said earlier. You know, I used the term fish a lot in the past as a joke. I never meant it anything bad. But like Josh, I think he said it earlier. You know, if somebody tells you this is offensive, then you stop. You don't have to have a clear understanding or know anything. So if people are offended by fish, stop using it. I mean, it's that simple. So I really don't understand Mr. Grant's point.
If I told you to say stop saying nigga, it's because I knew the connotations and the history behind it.
Can I just say something real quick?
People have been used to insult women for a long time. People have used fish to oppress women and insult them, and we all know that. So we all know that that's a word that has been used to insult women.
Yes.
Just like nigga insults Black people, just like faggot insults gay people. And if they're saying I don't like it, then let's stop. And to your point about
it should be that simple.
It should be that simple. And that's why is it because we as women are saying that's where I feel like it's patriarchy, because I feel like it's all of these men coming together and like, well, y'all shouldn't be offended.
Right.
We've been using it.
Right. Where was the oppression though? I'm confused.
No. I have something to say real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, I love Chuck. This is my first time seeing him. Yes, you are just spot on with everything. I love you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, Paul Grant, you tried to be fake deep. I don't know if you were trying to have an Oprah moment here. It fell flat. You got lost in what you were trying to say. You made absolutely no sense.
Don't be disrespectful in what you're trying to say. We're trying to have a conversation, and that offended me. That offended me, though.
It offended you? Come on, don't try to pull that card.
No, it did. It actually did offend me, and I don't like you even saying stuff like that because that comes off as offensive when I'm sitting here trying to have a conversation.
Well, you know what? Right? It's not my it was not my intention to offend you.
Well, why would you do some kind of?
But you know, I think that it's very odd that you are using the word offensive when we are talking about other words that are truly offensive to entire communities. That did not offend you. You don't know what you're talking about. You were lost in your speech. You were rambling on, trying to be fake deep, trying to be fake woke, and I'm not buying it. You sound stupid. So if that offended you, so be it.
So what you just said was not supposed to offend me?
Okay.
Can I say something really fast? Do you guys remember when Portia and Cynthia, and I hate to bring it back to our HOA, but you know, we love it here. But anyway, y'all remember when they got to fighting on that boat over the use of the word bitch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. And he had been saying it all day long. But it was something in the way that Cynthia heard her say bitch. And that one time that she used it out of the 50 million times that she used it that day, that she was offended. Right. And so it sometimes it's not the word, it's the way you use the word.
There we go. Exactly. I get it. Yeah. There we go. Yes.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yes. Kenya does that all the time. You notice how she calls everybody bitches. She calls people the C word. But the minute they call her a bitch, she's like, oh, you calling me out my name. But she has a point. Because I don't know the woman's name, Free Love. Like she says, it's the way you say something.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
Like I said, I use fish a lot in a joke. I can tell you one day about a bad joke I did that my friend 10 years later has not let me forget. But I never meant any harm by it. But now that I know it's offensive and it's become to my attention, this is really offensive, I'm never going to use it again. It's that simple for me. You know, and I even had, like you mentioned about people saying the N-word singing songs. I don't think anybody who's not of color has the right to say that word. And I had that argument with my friend the other day. She says, you never say, I never, ever use the N-word, ever. And let me tell you, if you knew me personally, I fight with everybody. I get in arguments with everybody all the time. But I don't care how deep and how low I go, I would never use that word to anybody because I know the history of it. Like I think Paul said, I know what it means. I know how it hurts people. I know the history. So even if I get mad at you, even if you call me a faggot, I'm still not going to use that word. You know, so I lost my point.
You know when someone means something from their core and when they're saying it to be nasty. You just do. So it's not about him using the word fish. It's the term and the way in which he or she uses it. It's not fair. And you can't come out and say, oh, I say it all the time. He. But you're not saying it in you're not using it in nice context. You're saying it to be derogatory. Yes. And so stop trying to play us like we Susie Sausage Head and we don't get that you're using it. I mean, it's real. Like you trying to play us for stupid. You're using it to be derogatory. You're not using it as a compliment.
I understand the ballroom culture. I got a ton of gay friends. I've been called.
No, I agree with Free Love though.
But you know, it's like I've also been the target of people who say, you know, fish this, fish that. Hell, I even did a whole video talking about, you know, her pussy smell like fish when I put them out my house. So if you're gonna use that to weaponize, you know, the term, and then on the other hand say front dash fish, back, you know, this fish, and fish over there told me this, it's like, well, how are we supposed to accept that and say, you know, it's a term of endearment as you're trying to make everyone believe?
You know what?
That makes sense. I get it.
They always be like, let's be honest, gay culture or gay lingo it's an impersonation of Black women. Let's just stop.
Let's get it.
Our community and tell us what words we can use. Like we are actually impersonating Black women, like the girl and all that. Like let's just be honest. Like it's not even ours to begin with.
Parties in the 70s, all of that. Like, what's the tea?
Stop. Just let's tell the truth and move on.
But anyway, I digress. Look, I gotta rotate some people out. Look, thank you, Paul, for.
Thank y'all. Wait, I got one more thing to say though. One more thing to say because I want to go back to this, Michelle.
Bye, Oprah.
Did you see exactly? Did you see the spirit of that spirit that came on and tried to make a point but did nothing but be disrespectful through the entire point?
Yes.
I think that's what's going on.
And
I came on here to simply have a conversation. I came on here to simply have a conversation, to simply speak and say my opinion, and all of a sudden I became Oprah and these disrespectful comments. Like,
this medical records is a known troll.
She
Like,
be yeah. That's Miss. Hey, Paul. That's Miss Fake New York. She funny.
But no, it was disrespectful though. It was, and it ruined the entire point of where we were trying to get. If we're gonna get somewhere, if we're ever gonna agree on anything, those types of people have to be nipped in the bud from the beginning, because they're gonna do nothing but create arguments.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Well,
got you.
thank y'all.
Bye, guys. I'm gonna have a
Good day.
out.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me hang out with y'all.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Michelle, before you dismiss me, I just want to say one more thing, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead. Wait, look, well, well, go ahead. I'm gonna bring somebody else in. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is that there's been a lot of talk about transgender, and everybody had a lot of good points. But I think I said it the other day, T.S. Madison is not representative of all trans women. She's not representative of all Black men. So I don't like really putting people in a box. So I just want to put out there that, there are a lot of great trans women. I tell you, I know a lot of trans women that worship women. So everybody's not like him. He's not representative of the community, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I'm part of it. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because there's been a lot of talk, and I'm not saying anybody said anything wrong. Everybody made a lot of good points, but we shouldn't put everybody in the same box. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, thank you, Chuck.
So you can let me go now. I'll go let somebody else come in.
I know I done held you almost 2 hours, child. Okay, thank you, Chuck. I appreciate it.
I'll keep listening.
All right. Cafe Jones, honey, how you doing?
Hi, hello everyone. How are you guys?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Okay, so Michelle, I'm gonna just make this real quick and simple. Okay. I am from Miami, which is where T.S. Madison and Funky Dineva are from. And with us being in Miami, we are used to hearing, that's what got T.S. Madison under fire when she first came out. When she talked about she was a chick with a, and she'd always say all these crazy things, and then the trans community was against her when she first came out. That's one part. Then the second part is, how is it that this is a woman that is now making fun of a biological woman and putting a man on the face and saying that that's a read that we always do. Oh, Wendy sound like a man. You look like well, sis, I'm sorry that I'm a Black woman and I have strong features. So if that's what you want to equate to being a man and looking like a man, when y'all turn around and saying that y'all women, we talking like two sides of our face.
Yes.
It's like we don't know what biology. I honestly feel like a lot of us need to go back to like the 6th or 7th grade where they taught basic biology. Because for somehow or other, it's like we're like the peanut butter generation. It's
called xenophobia. When people look at African features and feel like there's an issue with them, and I feel like that's rooted in self-hate. We've heard T.S. Madison call me a gorilla. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't understand.
But that's okay, because as long as it's a woman talking about another woman.
Right. So, there's that. He's problematic. We know he's problematic. I don't even know. Look, we've been talking about him 50 minutes too long, in my opinion. But
the same way that the other lady who had came in that, couldn't stop talking, when she said at the end of the day, she didn't have a issue with them being called a trans. That's what makes you different. You are a transgender. No, it's the underlying way. Underlying way of what? What are you talking about? Everybody wants to be a person.
Didn't have nothing to add to the conversation. It was clear she came on here to I don't know, disrupt. I don't know why she came, honestly. But I let her have her moment. She had like 20 whole minutes to say what she had to say. She never got it out, and
she never had a problem at the end of the day. Oh, it's the tone. It's the tone. We are adults. I don't care what tone you use. You either say something and I could comprehend what you're saying, or I don't. Why y'all want to be oppressed so bad?
Right.
What is the issue? But like I said, my main thing, I do feel like we are taking from their lingo. There are some things that you can and can't take because you can't play both sides. The same way that if you're saying a fish means you look so good like a biological woman, no one could clock you. But then why would you then turn around and degrade another woman and say, oh, she has a pad and that person.
Well, I kind of disagree with that because I've been saying T forever. Like I've been blogging for 13 years now. And so if you go to my site, I always be like, I'm spilling tea and doing this, that, and the third. So when somebody asks, what's the tea? They asking you for the gossip. So I never felt like that was a strictly gay term, even though a lot of gay men use it, or perhaps I just hang around gay men. I don't know. But I don't feel like we're stealing from their lingo. At the end of the day, like it's interchangeable. Like, you know, a lot of gay men and Black women are friends. We talk, we have our own languages with each other. So I'm not gonna give them that. Sorry.
That's true, but Michelle, one thing I don't like, I'm not gonna say all, but it seems that whenever a gay person and a Black woman were to get back and forth in discourse, I don't know about white people because I'm not in their community, we do turn around and be like, oh, well, if they get into a disagreement, you are this and you that, and start health reading and things like that. So it's kind of like you can't be too, if you're gonna be in somebody's face, you can't then turn around and call them all kinds of names.
You're right.
So that's that. But I really, really, really hate when they turn around and then call you, not you, any Black woman that does not fit a certain look. Oh, well, you a man. But sis, isn't that what you really are, though? I'm confused.
Well, that may have been where they started, but that's not where they aspire to finish. Let's just leave it at that, okay?
I guess I got to go back to anatomy, biology.
They do admit to being male.
I'm not trying to. Look, Black Harvard. I'm not trying to go there. You already know.
But just that's the only thing I don't like. Don't start back. We all need to have respect for one another. I don't care if you're trans person.
And I agree.
I don't care. It's not my business. Right. But don't turn around and make fun of us. And it's like, well, which one is it?
Right. Thank you, Cafe.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Let me go back to this laundry.
Okay, Michelle.
Powerful. Hey,
Michelle.
Hey.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Oh, we had our chat the other night. I watched T.S. Madison. Well, what shocked me, because when I was turning over on my phone, I seen that picture of, I said, boy, that's Michelle's background. But then I seen Gary Coleman. I said, okay, here go this B. She done started. So I went and I watched it. But you know what's so funny? She reminds me of Kenya. Just let me explain. Every time you say, why did you do this? Why did you do that? You need to apologize. She never apologizes. She always gives a reason why she did what she did, to say, well, okay, you did this, so I did this. You did this, so I did this. Not saying that anything she did was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Even I watched the show today, or was it yesterday? She had with the young lady. Still,
the Naked Night, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Still, she still did not apologize and say, I'm wrong.
Right.
I will not use that.
You're right.
I've been hanging in the, I'm much older than a lot of y'all. I've been hanging in the gay community for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from New York. Our place was the garage. I hung out with all the gay people, but guess what? I'm straight, and I was the only one that had a membership. So everybody had to wait for me to go to the garage.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Which is strange. So all this stuff they talk about, this, that, and the other, that's a bunch of bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of bull crap.
I agree. I
done lived over six decades.
No.
So this mess that they talk. No. Yes, I'm that old.
Oh, yeah, you're not old. You just seasoned.
No. It's all right. I done lived over 6 decades. And this mess that they're talking about, and that's just what it is, mess.
Uh-huh.
And what pissed me off so bad the other day with TS, because I listened to the first time she went off on Lovely T and well, whatever the other little girl is named, the B Simone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next day, when you, and we didn't even speak on to say, oh, anything derogatory as far as she was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But her thing was, okay, now I got Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And then to involve Josh had nothing to do with any of this.
Right.
And I can tell you, Chuck was not lying, because I was trying to get on the phone to speak to her, and she only picked the people that were her up there fans that she knew that was going to come on and agree with everything she said. She didn't let nobody else on there. She only let the people come on that was going to agree with her.
Wow. Well, there you have it.
And listening to her, I'm like, you know what this is? This is a grown behind. I won't she, because that's what she want to be called. She that as a child, when she was was bullied. So now I want to be transgender when it's convenient for me.
And I want to bully
people,
anything,
bully people, and then become a victim.
Yeah,
you can't do both. And I listened to her. Oh, because I got people that can do this. I got people that can do this. I got people that can do this. As old as I am, I still got Pookie in them that'll come and do what I need to do.
Trust me, I got a few in my corner.
But that's but my thing is that okay, the problem is I tried to go back on y'all thing, going back and forth. You said you was gonna put something on there so we could get a better judgment of okay. But this is my thing. What this is that okay, y'all went to court. She thought she was going to win. She did not win. So what did she do? She dug up under the grass and tried to do everything to destroy you. But like I tell people, when you dig a ditch for one, you better dig two, because you're going to fall before I do. And she's falling. And the thing of it is she's falling and it's bothering her because it's not bothering you. You've done the right thing. You've forgiven her. You don't have an issue with her. But no, you're not going to let her do you any old kind of way, which is what you're not supposed to do. But a lot of things she say, you just let it roll off your back because that's what you're supposed to do. Don't allow that idiot, and I'm at that point with her right now. Don't allow that idiot to block your blessings because it ain't worth it.
You're right.
And I say it to she, it ain't worth it. That makes the way she's acting is like a little spoiled child that did not get that doll that they wanted on Christmas. And now they mad with the world.
Yep.
She will. That's why I said she reminds me. That's why I said she reminds me of Kenya.
Okay,
she never will admit when she is wrong.
Look, thank you, powerful. Let me
because in her mind, meaning that she is wrong means that, oh my God, my life is over.
Wow. Look, powerful. Let me let Mr. Woods get a word in. Mr. Woods.
Go ahead, Mr. Woods.
How y'all doing? This is my first time on here. You know, I just joined a couple of weeks ago, and I jumped in kind of late because I was on something else. I'm down in Texas, and I was seeing I'm gonna, let me just say this before I say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna address all of you guys as women. I'm not gonna bust no shots or anything like that, because guess what? We all in the same community, and I'm gonna keep it fair that way, because that's a problem within itself. So whenever I jump in here, the thing about it is that she, you know, whenever these debates happen, whenever it's the transgender women versus heterosexual women, they get offended because they feel like somebody is coming for them. And if you notice, I feel like she just came on here because she was trying to represent something, and she looked like she was trying to sabotage. Now, the character of T.S. Madison, and I'm gonna bring it all the way back. You know, Michelle, I do remember that story and things of that nature. I didn't even know that was you that was in that, you know, situation with her. I just knew that it was Michelle. But if you guys notice over this past 2 years with T.S. Madison, she has been getting into it with every single person that comes on her platform that she comes in contact with. She talks about the gays. She trashes the gays. She trashes the Black women, not even a little bit. Like when they first started out or whatever like that, it is that point of she's always tearing down the community. And you can't get offended. It's kind of like, don't come to a gunfight with a knife. You got to be able to stand up in your truth, and you have to be able to own up to what you say. And that's what she uses her platform for. She uses her platform for to bring these, you know, now everybody's trying to change and go in this direction where they're trying to interview these people, but she's still being messy. Like she's still being messy. And even in this climate and even in all this type of stuff, what I'm saying to you, Michelle, don't even entertain her because it's not even worth it. Like we got bigger fish to fry, and you know, everybody is here for the tea and all that good stuff because it's good, because we do need that. But with T.S. Madison, it's a recurring thing. Like she lost a lot of fans and things like that. But it's the same thing that goes with the other young lady that was with her, because we're not even gonna go down that road. That's all that they do. When you breathe and speak negativity, that's exactly what's gonna come back to you. And that's all that she's ever done. And things like that. Like she came on, I caught like probably a snippet of that. And she came on there and she went straight into it. Let's talk about this. And she said all X, Y, Z about you and this, that, and the third. Yeah, you might have put that picture up. I thought the picture was funny. But
I did too.
Yeah, it was funny, but it's one shade to me because at the end of the day, this is the platform that she uses. This is the platform that you guys are all on, but they get so offended. Like they get so offended. And even when I was on here talking and things like, or when I was listening to some of the other people that were saying whatever they were saying about her, it's just too much. Like just keep if you can't handle the heat, get the hell up out the kitchen is all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like get out the kitchen. And she is like Kenya Moore. She is like Kenya Moore. And Kenya Moore is an ugly woman to me. She's a bad representation of Black women. How do you come in and you win, what is it, Miss Universe or whatever the case may be, and you trash Black women? That's the same thing with T.S. Madison. How do you stand up for the transgender community and you're a bad representation? Sis, this is who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to come together and bring these Black women together, but you're not doing that. It's like, you know, I just don't agree with that. And I just wanted to, you know, say that in the nutshell. I don't want to take up too much time or anything like that, but I feel like that is absolutely ridiculous. Do you hear me? Like you bring people on your platform, like you do stuff like she brought Kandi on there, girl. Okay, and then you trying to be messy with that situation. Then you bring Tamar on there, and you see what happened with her and K Michelle, and then K Michelle start talking out the side of her neck. It's just it keeps going. It keeps going. There's nothing positive about it, and that's all I'm saying is that she mad. You keep doing what you do, Queen. To be completely honest with you, I feel like y'all all are queens, but we definitely got to do better. We definitely got to do better. Like us being I
agree with you. I totally agree with you on everything you said, and that's why I don't like. And I don't know why people keep saying I drag. Look, and I'm saying him because you know it is what it is. But now I don't know why people think I drag him. I don't. Like I come on, I say what I gotta say, and I keep it moving. The worst I have called him is him. You know what I'm saying? And he said he doesn't care about pronouns. Well, why are you dragging me? What's the point? How am I disrespecting you? I never said anything but reported the news. I reported on the Lovely T situation. I reported on the Kaya situation. I'm not on here doing videos dragging him. But again, you know, I'm not trying to play the victim. And if he feels like I am, he is, you know, he can feel the way he feels. And he can drag me, which he has done. But my thing is, don't sit there and say you're not being disrespectful to women and then go and disrespect women. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason that I decided to do this live today. And I didn't even
they want a seat at the table. Like we all want a seat at that table. Like there's nothing wrong with, because I'm part of the LGBTQ community. Then there's nothing wrong. I want a seat at the table as a Black gay man. You know what I'm saying? We all want a seat at the table. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like sis got to be able to sit down and talk to you. She mad. When you driven by a bag, and of course, you know, somebody said that drama sells and stuff like that, but you can still sell the drama and still be together, and she doesn't want to do that.
Right.
Like she does not want to do that. Like it's a continual hate thing. And honestly, it ain't nothing but a reflection on how she feel about herself. That's truly what that is.
Right.
True.
I agree.
But I'm good.
I appreciate you, Mr. Woods.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
You put somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you put somebody else in there.
Look, I'm not gonna go no longer. I'm 2 hours too long. Yeah. Look, Look, I appreciate you for your input, and I know it's a lot of people on the back wait to get in, and I know some people come in late. Y'all need to watch the replay. Please watch the replay. You know, the title of this video is "I Wanted to Be a BMW." Because Mr. Manhands went on his platform and said, you know, he making money and got a BMW, so he is not pressed and he is not bothered, but then proceeded to drag me. I talked about all that. Again, rewind, watch it from the beginning. And my thing is, I feel like he should keep that same energy to some of these men. Hold on. He should keep that same energy. Look, and you know what? Well, I ain't gonna even put. Look, shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. Like, I don't watch him that much, but somebody sent me this clip. Somebody sent me this clip and said that Tommy Sotomayor said that T.S. Madison does not care if he calls him a man. And so I'm like, you don't have that same smoke for these men, but you want
Madison never cussed me out for me saying I will never call you ma'am. T.S. Madison never cussed me out because I told this man, I will never call you ma'am. I don't give a fuck. Out of respect for myself, I'm not calling you something I know you're not.
My thoughts exactly. My thoughts exactly. And there you have it. I'm done. I'm over. Look, I can't even say no more. I can't even say no more. I feel the exact same way. I would never call him ma'am. I would never call him her. I won't call him
because you about to be an ATLien.
Hell, I won't call him at all. I won't call him at all, honey. Anyway, you guys, if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm supposed to go live on Patreon and continue this. I was gonna do a surviving T.S. Madison, honey, and pull all the receipts. We got all the receipts. Look, we've been pulling them, and I showed you a few of them at the beginning. We went way back to 2018. So the people who are on my Patreon who want to get the real details is patreon.com. iamATLien, and of course, I will put the link on the community feed when I go live. It'll probably be like 10 or 11ish. And you know, we can have a little, you know, a little kiki session. You know how we do. But shout out to you guys for joining me today. Again, I opened my call lines to everyone. Everyone was invited to call. I did not block anyone from calling in. Again, all the people on the back end, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Y'all are diva. Oh, thank you for the super chats and the cash apps. I'm gone.
Get ready, because you about to be an ATLien. Get ready, because you about to be an ATLien. ATLien.